Hi, and welcome back. In the first module, we talked about stress as a nervous system response or a protective response, not a personal failure. And we began noticing how stress can move us into protection before we have time to think things through. In this module, we're going to build on that foundation by exploring an essential truth. We don't all manage stress the same way. Understanding this about yourself and about others can soften a great deal of confusion, self criticism, and relational tension. In this work, we understand that we make meaning of our stress through three primary means, often called the three centers of intelligence: the sensing body, the feeling heart, and the thinking head. These centers don't label us, and they're not going to give us a way to diagnose. They're not boxes. They're simply revealing different ways we try to make sense of our world and what we need to do to adapt and stay safe in it. When a person is able to operate from all three centers of intelligence in a healthy way, we say that they are in harmony or experiencing integration. But under stress, we're usually using a default pathway, the center we tend to go to first, the sensing body. For some, stress shows up first in the body, and this might look like tension or tightness, an urgency or a restlessness. It might look like pushing through, bracing, controlling, or shutting down physically. When stress moves through the body, the nervous system is often asking, am I safe right now? And this pathway is closely connected to protection, autonomy, and grounding. If this is your default, you may notice that under pressure, you feel a strong need to act, to fix, to hold yourself together, or step away completely. These behaviors aren't just coping patterns, they are protective responses. The feeling heart. For others, stress shows up first in the heart space, and this might look like emotional intensity, heightened sensitivity to tone or perceived rejection, people pleasing or overgiving, fear of disappointing others. And when stress moves through the heart, the protective part of us is often asking, am I valued? Am I loved? And do I belong? This pathway is closely tied to connection and worth. And if this is your default, you may notice that under stress, your attention quickly turns towards relationships and how others feel, how you're being perceived, or what you might need to do in order to restore closeness. This isn't neediness, it's protection. The thinking head. For others, stress shows up first in the head space. This might look like overthinking or worrying, planning and anticipating, staying analytical or detached, or pulling inward to think things through. When stress moves through the head space, our protective system is often asking, how do I make sense of this so I can feel safe? This pathway is closely connected to clarity, certainty, and self-reliance. If this is your default, you may notice that under pressure, you retreat into thinking, trying to understand, solve, or prepare before engaging emotionally. This isn't avoidance, it's a protective strategy. I want to pause here and name something important. These pathways are not good or bad. They're not strengths or weaknesses. They are adaptations. At some point in your life, this way of responding helped you cope with stress, uncertainty, or disconnection. And while the circumstances may change, when trying to make sense of stress, our protective system returns to what it knows best. Understanding this shifts the question from, what is wrong with me, to, what is my system trying to protect? Stress doesn't just affect individuals, it affects relationships. When people have different default pathways to manage their stress, misunderstandings often happen. For example, one person becomes urgent while others become quiet. One person needs reassurance while another needs space. One person wants to talk it through while another person wants to think alone. Without understanding these differences, it's easy to assume they don't care, they're overreacting, or they're shutting me out. And often, none of that is true. What's happening is that different protective systems are guarding different needs at the same time. As you sit with this module, I invite you to gently reflect on a few questions. I want you to ask, when stress rises for me, where do I tend to go to first? My sensing body, my feeling heart, or my thinking head? What does this pathway help me protect? And how might this show up in my closest relationships? There's no need to label yourself or figure everything out. Noticing is enough for now. In the next module, we're going to take this one step deeper and talk about stress as protection, including the scarcity messages that often sit beneath the stress pathways. Those messages aren't flaws, they're clues. So I'll see you in the next module, and take good care of yourself as you continue.